What is up, everybody? Welcome to Perspective Gaming. I'm your host, Flame078, logging in from the real world to give you perspective, or more specifically, gang perspective. This video series tackles something that's been on my mind and I spell out my takes. Then afterwards, we have a discussion in hopes to better understand ourselves. Today's topic, the future of console gaming. Let's get to it. So when coming up with this video, I wanted to talk about the Xbox One X and the Pro and discuss how I felt about them and if they were worth the upgrade. But thinking about it some more, this announcement I think leaves us with a bigger question that I think I would like to tackle here, which is how this console and the Pro changed the console gaming industry, or console gaming as a whole. But let's recap real quick on my thoughts on these machines and what they offer. So my focus here is what these machines offers. If you wish to know the full specs, then I will leave those links down below. So let's break it down. The Pro and the One X essentially give us one really new big thing, and that's the promise of high fidelity gaming at 4K Ultra and potentially 60 frames per second. Now I add potentially because this is only possible if the games are built to support that. If not, these new high features will not give you 4K or 60 frames per second no matter what. The Pro comes in at $400 while the One X when released will be coming out at $500. Now right there you'll be thinking, Flame Zero, I'll stick with the Pro, it's cheaper. Why is Xbox doing it? It's so expensive. Now lots of times when companies are like, the best thing ever, most insert adjectives of said thing here, companies will blow things a bit out of proportion. It's just marketing. But in this case, they aren't really lying. The One X, when shipped, will be a beast of a machine and it definitely outclasses the Pro for sure. And if you're a PC gamer or following the PC world, these prices is actually competitive since it falls in line with what a PC equivalent could do if you were to build it your own. Now these are great in features and all, but I personally don't think these machines are worth it, but I think I'll touch upon that a little bit later. Great, so we got beefier machines, so what? How is this different than what they've done in the past, or even when they released slim versions, or Xbox blah 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 S, or whatever? Well, on a high level, it's not that different. But if you understand the industry and how the console gaming has been over the years, you will see that this is actually really different and potentially raise red flags. So a little dive into some gaming history. Gaming has evolved and shaped us a lot in the last 20 years. Deeper games, better graphics, really pushing the hardware to its limits. These advances have made our hobby, or for some, livelihoods better and possible. When console gaming gained steam, something new was born, or rather, something now was possible that was not previously done. And that is, game developers could make a game a lot easier, from developing the actual game to maybe potentially shipping it out. So what do I mean? In the PC gaming world, the concept of building multiple versions of your game is a staple, or more accurately, the ability to account for different hardware was something you needed to have in order to, have a successful game. Why? Because every PC is unique for the most part. Now, there are some overlaps when you have your basic tiers, but for those who like to tinker with their machines, no two PCs will run the same, whether some of you overclock it or you have different CPUs or etc. etc. As a developer, you have to account for what your consumer will have. And as a developer myself, I know that this age of multiple platforms and hardware can cause interesting problems. But what it really does, it increases the time and effort of making something. Complexity always brings issues and always brings a little bit of trouble. And game developers had to have the skill to handle that. When console gaming became a solid thing, game companies and devs now had a new opportunity to really get their art out there. Consoles are just locked down PCs with a set of hardware. So what happens when now millions of people are guaranteed to have the same set of specs from living room to living room? A faster and easier game development process. Now you could have someone buy your game, take it to someone else, have fun, and then they would like, oh my god, I want to buy this. So they go out and buy it and boom, that's it. Simple as that. That little transaction was made possible thanks to console gaming. Now I'm not saying you couldn't do this in the PC world. It's not exactly the same because of DRM and stuff. But I could come over to my friend's house and play a game and I say, oh, I like this game, I want to play it. But there's one thing that would stop me that doesn't stop me in console gaming. and it's the checkmark of, does my PC have the necessary hardware to play this game? That's just a simple fact. You don't have that concern or worry in console gaming. And in my opinion, I think this factor was what made console gaming booming and allowed for it to grow the way it did. With these new machines, I think console gaming will get more complex than it has been. Game developers have to be aware that there are now machines that have hardware to crank out crispier experiences. But not only that, now they have to be aware that there are PS4s and Xboxes that could be different from living room to living room. But remember how I said that I think these machines will not be worth it? This is where I think the problems will creep up, because now you'll have a divided consumer base. Those with these new machines and those with the originals. As a business, you want to think how you can get your thing out to as many people as possible. Games aren't that much different. And why I said console gaming has this new thing associated with was because this made companies have the decision-making process be a lot easier. Let's say there are 100 PS4s out there. Now 20 of these PS4s are like the new one, and before I continue on, you add an Xbox One for the same scenario. Let's also say it's going to cost you as a gaming company $60 to make this game for your regular PS4. Let's say it will cost you $100 to make sure you optimize it for the Pro. Selling a game at $60 games will get you more money from the 80 regular PS4s than the 20 enhanced versions. So you tell your team to prioritize that. Now I'm not saying that your standard game won't play on the new machines, it's just it won't have that crisp to it. And that's not bad, right? Well, from a business value, when you want to sell your product, you want to make sure everything sells. So the driver to buy the Pro or the One X are the games. And if the games don't ship in to make sure they handle those features, why are you going to buy those new machines? And companies like Microsoft and Sony are not going to take a loss like that if they can't guarantee that. But this is nothing new. Every generation of consoles had like their slims or like the little enhancers here and there. But again, these changes were fundamentally the same. It didn't change how a PlayStation 2 ran from a PlayStation 2 back in the day. With these machines, that's not the case. You have machines that now can do 4K 60 frames pretty easily versus machines that kind of maybe or may not do it. Now, I'm not saying that companies are going to scamp on doing 4K and 60 frames per second if they can, because trust me, if they have the money and the resources and the big people, they're going to be making those games crisp. I am just concerned how fruitful these new consoles will be and how the games will change because of it. I think there's a possibility where this dynamic will change the console gaming industry, and it could come back to bite us. These companies want their new consoles to sell, but in order to do that, the games coming out need to come out supporting these features in order to get people to buy the new console. If not, they will continue just using the consoles they have now. So we'll have to see, but I am curious to see what you guys think. Do you guys think this is a valid concern? What are yours? Leave a comment down below and let's start a conversation. And that's it. This has been Getting Perspective. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. And if you like this type of content, hit that subscribe button. If you would like to leave a topic for this video series, leave it down below. This is Perspective Gaming. I'm Flame078, logging off for now, and until next time, adios.